We're live, and we're going to be talking about Enneagram Type 6 instincts. But first, a little bit on the instincts overall. Over to the Enneagram buff himself, because he doesn't like being called an expert, but I'm going to call him the buff, Jonathan Campbell.
Okay, let me see if I can screen share this.
Right, and I'll click on your square so that the audience...
So you can see this?
Yes.
Okay. So this is Chestnut's, just a little excerpt from Chestnut.
Just so, as people can see, just so they buy the book, The Complete Enneagram, 27 Paths to Greater Self-Knowledge. So please don't report this video, Beatrice.
Yeah, this is just a tiny little excerpt. It's not the whole book.
And for what it's worth, Beatrice, you're a very good-looking woman, and just look at the back of the book.
Okay.
It's true. Have you seen the back, haven't you, Jonathan?
Well, yes, but I wouldn't try and,
I have to appease her if she's watching this video. I don't want her to report it.
I would just be a bit more feminist than that, that's all.
Well, the way she's posed in the picture. Anyhow, go on.
Okay, so these are the instincts. Okay, so this is self-preservation instinct as she's using it. Focuses attention on and shapes behaviour around issues related to survival and material security. Generally directs energy towards safety and security concerns, including having enough resources, avoiding danger, and maintaining a basic sense of structure and well-being. Beyond those basic concerns, self-preservation instinct may place emphasis on other areas of security in terms of whatever that means for a person or a specific type, once it mixes with one of the other 9 passions. I need to sneeze just a second.
Okay.
Okay. One. Oh boy.
That was great. That was great. That was fantastic. The way he said, "Oh boy," that was good.
Okay. No, I am self-preservation second, so I'm most comfortable with self-pres stuff, so I have a hanky prepared.
Fantastic. Jonathan, what's that 9 passions thing?
The 9 types.
Right.
So, self-pres 1, self-pres 2, well. Okay. That can also be things like hobbies as well, like anything to do with psychological survival and well-being, so if you've got a passion for something and that's part of your identity and you focus on that, it's not necessarily just what you think of as stereotypical self-pres stuff. There's a psychological element to it, and a concern for your immediate family and friends as well.
So,
in particular.
How much of a correlation is there between this and the guardian temperament?
To my knowledge, SJs are very often self-pres types and predominantly self-pres types, but I don't think it's absolute for any of the types. Like, I don't think there's... So, an INFJ who is self-pres first is probably rarer than the other 2, but it's not like they don't exist. I'm sure they exist.
It also, does self-pres lean more towards STJ than SFJ?
I haven't looked into it. I don't think it's much different. I think it's about the same for each of them. Okay, social instinct. Social instinct focuses attention on and shapes behaviour around issues related to belonging, recognition, and relationships in social groups. It drives us to get along with the herd, our family, the community, and the groups we belong to. This instinct also relates to how much power or standing one has relative to the other members of the group, in terms of whatever that might mean for a person of a specific type. Generally, INFJs are social firsts since you brought up, but again, there's plenty of exceptions. And sexual instinct focuses attention on and shapes behaviour around issues related to the quality and status of relationships with specific individuals. sometimes referred to as the one-on-one instinct. It generally directs energy toward the achievement and maintenance of sexual connections, interpersonal attraction, and bonding. This instinct sees a sense of well-being through one-to-one connections with people in terms of whatever that means for a person of a specific type. However, it can also be towards bigger things, like a cause or success or leaving a legacy. It's also called the transmitter. It's very much about. It can be very much about trying to live through your achievements and success. Well, that's especially for sexually, I suppose. But
like Donald Trump.
Yes, very much so. So,
when I read when you went through the first bit of that sounded quite INFP-ish.
Yeah, seems quite FI, but it's any type can be a SX type.
Mm.
I'm a little disappointed with these definitions because there's definitely better ones out there. They'll need to get that for another hangout.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of like her thumbnail sketches early on.
Yeah.
Before it goes into super detail.
So, get speed through this. So, Rachel, how do you relate to those descriptions? They were a bit simplistic.
Well, I see the SP and the SX in myself, not the SO so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about as far as like the, I don't know if you'd say phobic and counterphobic, if either one is more likely to be one of the.
As far as type 6 goes, the self-preservation 6 is usually more phobic, and the sexual 6 is usually more counterphobic.
And then the social goes either way.
In between, I would say. In practice, individuals will be both phobic and counterphobic, but especially depending on the situation and their levels of health and so on. But the self-preservation one's generally more phobic overall, and the sexual one's more counterphobic overall.
Jonathan, have you got like a PDF of personality types? Because then you could show page 429 where it talks about the sexual variants. I think there's some good bits on there.
Okay, we're going to get sued.
Now, I am going to get sued.
Yeah, I'm safe. You let me do this. I have no responsibility for this. Let me try and find.
I mean, any reasonable person would say, look, you know, this is promoting it. This is promoting. I mean, when you go on Amazon, they show bits from the books.
I'm going to find it without screen sharing, just so I don't.
Oh, so all those books, eh? So you know that's been recorded. People know. Oh dear, what an egghead! He really is the.
My God, on earth do you thought that? What did you see?
He didn't have 50 Shades of Grey on there or anything. I don't know what it's called.
I didn't have that. No, I cannot. What page is it? Oh, it's not good for.
429.
But what chapter do you know?
It is in advanced guidelines, and it's just the instinctual types, and it's after the bit says levels of development. I think it's right at the back. Instinctual types. Oh, actually, it's right at the end of advanced guidelines. It's the final section.
As you can see, we are totally prepared for this. We are. We have this all structured out.
Oh yes.
I think I'm lost.
People love this coping under adversity. It's the realness of it.
Ah, here we go. All right.
Right, so if you share screen that, and then I don't have to read it out.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, the thing to remember though is that Riso and Hudson may have a slightly different definition of these instincts, especially as it was written in 1886. Okay, self-preservation. So, starting here.
Yeah.
Oh, the noun even gives a dictionary. Protection of oneself from harm or death, especially regards a basic instinct in human beings and animals. Yeah, that's helpful. The focus here is easy to understand from the name. People of this instinctual type are preoccupied with basic survival needs as they translate in our contemporary society. Thus, self-preservation takes exam with money, food, housing, health, physical safety and comfort. Being safe and physically comfortable are priorities. These people are quick to notice any problems in a room, such as poor lighting or uncomfortable chairs, or be dissatisfied with the room temperature. They often have issues created with food and drink, either overdoing it or having strict dietary requirements. In the healthy to average levels of the three instinctual types, they are the most practical in the sense of taking care of basic life necessities, paying bills, maintaining the home and workplace, acquiring useful skills, and so forth. When these types deteriorate, they tend to distort the instinct to the degree that they are poor at taking care of themselves. Unhealthy self-preservation types eat and sleep poorly or become obsessed with health issues. They often have difficulty handling money and may act out in deliberately self-destructive ways. In a nutshell, no matter what Enneagram personality type is involved, self-preservation types are focused on enhancing their personal security and physical comfort.
Jonathan, you're cutting out a slight bit, so if you'd just knock back the pace a third. Because other people, Rachel, have said, other Scottish people have said to Jonathan, what?
Yeah.
Pardon?
I'm sorry. Also, they're saying that it's not matter what Enneagram personality type, but a 6 is very security focused, so they'll. I think either of their social blind, either their self-pres blind spot, they might still have some of this or security concerns.
It's actually better for you, Jonathan, to talk slow because people drink in the Scottish accent. Drink it in and appreciate it more.
Appreciate it, mate.
Yep.
Hung. Right. Okay. Okay, social. This very
one thing. Yeah, sorry to butt in. It's like the bit early on where it talked about money, food, housing, and then it goes like health, physical safety, and comfort.
Yes.
Physically, that sounds quite a bit like the SI DOMs. Sort of like the comfort sensing.
Yeah, and it does. As I said, SJs are very often SP types, but I do know non-SJs who are SP first, so it's not.
Yeah.
It's not inevitable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just noticing the patterns. Yeah. And also, these things can double up on each other when you have got an SJ who's self-pres.
Yeah.
Sort of like. Because you've got like, then I suppose you've got like the function and the motivation coming together.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Social. This variant is focused on their interactions with other people and with a sense of value or esteem they derive from their participation in collective activities. Oh, pardon me. These include work, family, hobbies, clubs, basically any arena in which social types can interact with others for some shared purpose. The instinct underlying this behaviour was an important one in human survival. Human beings on their own are rather weak, vulnerable creatures and easily fall prey to the frequently hostile environment. By learning to live and work together, our ancestors created the safety necessary for human beings not only to survive but to thrive. Within that social instinct, however, are many other implicit imperatives, and primary among them is the understanding of place within a hierarchical social structure. This is as true for dogs and gorillas as for human beings. Thus, the desire for attention, recognition, honor, success, fame, leadership, appreciation, and the safety of belonging can all be seen as manifestations of the social instinct. Social types like to know what is going on around them and want to make some kind of contribution to the human enterprise. There is often an interest in the events and activities of one's own culture or sometimes of another culture. In general, social types enjoy interacting with people, but they avoid intimacy. In their imbalanced, unhealthy forms, these types can become profoundly antisocial, detesting people and resenting their society, or having poorly developed social skills. In a nutshell, no matter what Enneagram personality is involved, social types are focused on interacting with people in ways that will build their personal value, their sense of accomplishment, and their security of place within others. With others.
So what do you think, Jonathan, of what you've just read there?
I can relate to that a lot. Especially the antisocial thing.
And also, for people thinking of getting this book, is that description of social there not out of date? Is it still useful for people wanting to learn about Enneagram?
It's useful, but it is a bit old. And I guess this book is written in 1986, so
yeah.
And
which bits of it would have changed? Which bits of any bits a bit dated?
Some wouldn't have changed. It's more like you have to consider things like the stackings and so on. We really should do a video on the stackings one day, to be honest. And this strength levels. Something to do. Right, sexual.
Rachel, did any of the social? Did you relate to any of that?
Well, when it talks about the unhealthy social, being profoundly antisocial and having poorly developed social skills, I could kind of relate to that.
But what were the rest? Because that could also just be introverted stuff and or being social last as well. So.
Yeah, I didn't really relate to the other stuff. What are your what's your order of instincts, Jonathan?
I am SOSP.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Sexual. Many people originally identify themselves as this type, perhaps confusing the idea of a sexual instinctual type with being a sexy person. Ben. Of course, sexiness is in the eye of the beholder, and there are plenty of sexy people in all three of the instinctual types. Furthermore, lest one think this type more glamorous than the other two, one would do well to remember that the instinct can become distorted in the type, leading to an area of life causing the greatest problems. In healthy to average sexual types, there is a desire for intensive experience, not just sexual experience, but any activity having a similar charge. This intensity can be found in a great conversation or an exciting movie. Much has been said about this type preferring one-on-one relationships, especially the social type's preference for larger groups. But a quick poll of one's acquaintances will reveal that almost all people prefer communicating one-on-one rather than in a group. The question is more, what are the intensity of contact and the strength of desire for intimacy? Sexual types are the intimacy junkies of the instinctual types, often neglecting pressing obligations or even basic maintenance if they are swept up in someone or something that has captivated them. This gives a wide-ranging, exploratory approach to life, but also a lack of focus on one's own priorities. In their neurotic forms, this then can manifest with a wandering lack of focus, sexual promiscuity and acting out, or just the opposite, in a fearful, dysfunctional attitude towards sex and intimacy. Sexual types, however, will be intense, even about their avoidances. In conclusion, no matter what Enneagram personality type is involved, sexual types are focused on having intense, intimate interactions and experiences with others and with the environment to give them a powerful sense of aliveness. Okay, I'm actually quite angry now.
Oh no!
Because I got in an argument once with someone on Facebook who.
Well, that's actually good because that will be able to fill time. If you tell us about that argument whilst we wait for Rachel to come back.
Basically, they were saying that sexual instinct is not like that description. They said that they actually worked with Russ Hudson, and they weren't agreeing with. We're arguing about Donald Trump, and they've taken him as self-pres 8 apparently. I think that description right there would fit him quite well. You just without counting the type of thing. And yes, I'm just a little bit annoyed because that's actually a pretty good description overall. But I got in an argument with someone who supposedly adheres to Reese Hudson's school of thought, Enneagram school, and
oh, yeah, I mean,
she's all peeved now.
I mean, like anyone who knows like temperaments and MBTI, they'll look at like the social and the self-pres, and they go, yeah, I know that already. But then when they look at the sexual, they think, oh, this is actually quite interesting. I'm actually learning something new here with this. This is like, especially for NFs, they'll get something out of the sexual, and even like INTJs as well, because they're like the closet. They can be closet romantics.
Yeah. Anyway, I should think I've read those descriptions somewhere else on the internet. So it's a pretty good description. The only thing is they don't go into the stackings, but
yeah,
again, it was written in '96. So.
Yeah. So Rachel, when I don't know how much you caught of the end of that, of Jonathan's description of the sexual instincts.
I think I heard all of it.
Right. Okay. How close did you fit that?
I feel like it's very close between SX and SP, but with the SP stuff, I really relate to immediately noticing things about the environment that are bothering me, but the stuff with financial and long-term stability is something that I have to work on more consciously. It's not really second nature. With the SX, it all seems to fit.
Well, if you're SP second, you might take all of self-preservation stuff for granted because you find it relatively easy to get kind of down. I definitely relate to that, to feeling like I should focus more on self-preservation stuff and I would benefit from it, but I don't find it particularly difficult to at least get the basics done. Yeah.
So is that something, Jonathan, that you've actually noticed in real life through your own experience, that in these stacks, so you've actually seen it where people are better at their second instinct, but they aren't driven by it as much as the first? You've actually noticed that
I've noticed it myself. I kind of noticed it in some people, but not others. There's also things like the strength of the instincts in your second instinct, because even though you're, as I said before, it can be your best or it can be your least worst. So it's not a case of necessarily being better at it, being good at it. It's more complicated. But you can definitely see the instincts in people when you get to know them. I've definitely seen those things, and it's also good. It's also quite easy to see their last instinct as well, how they're not using a certain instinct. They don't care about certain things.
Have you noticed in people where if their last instinct can double up with their polar function, with their brake function, can they look especially weak with their brake function? So for instance, say somebody is self-pres last and TE brake. Does that like come across as like more TE brake than, say, so for instance, an INFJ that's, all INFJ are TE brake, but an INFJ that's self-pres last, do they appear more TE brake than, say, you as an INFJ that isn't self-pres last?
I don't think so. Never really thought of that, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's true. I mean, I wouldn't associate SP with TE anyway. It would seem more of an SI thing.
Yeah, but generally, you know, when you read the description of INFJ and it's like with their TE brake, it's like they have the problems with being practical, implementing things. Whereas if you have an INFJ that is TE brake but they're self-pres, they're going to have this need of, oh, I need to sort this area out. and in the process, because you pretty much need to use TE and SI in order to satisfy a self-pres needs, because it's involved in terms of like getting to that result. You need to use those functions.
Well, I actually say that I relate to SI not that badly, so I might make up for it. And it might be true of others as well. So I'm more interested in something like how and E and J would relate to that. They were SP last, considering they're out of touch with their SI. But I don't know. I don't think there's any great correlation there. They say that I never really thought about that. So.
What I think it is with ENTJ with their SI break is that they're such workaholics and they drive themselves so hard that they get stressed and they don't listen to their bodies. That's how I see it with them.
Perhaps.
And because that is all dependent upon the socionics definition of SI. But I can't. But that seems to match up with the experience of ENTJs. Are the workaholic types that they get themselves into a situation where they're working, not getting much sleep, they're driven by stress. Say they're running a business and they're putting in like super long hours. Whereas ESTJ, by comparison, is work hard, rest hard, maybe. Or work hard, garden hard. They have a clear dividing line between work and rest. So it's like, don't call me on the weekend. the SJs, I imagine.
Yeah. I had a thought. We've been doing this for... How long have we been talking? About half an hour?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we could, instead of doing an E6 instincts video, we just turn this into focus purely on instincts.
Oh, that's fine with me. Yes.
Is it fine with Rachel?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So I'll try and get a PDF of the instinctual stackings again.
Yeah, that would be cool, because that'll get some views. I'd spread that around.
All right. How do you get a PDF of a page again, a web page?
How do you show it?
Yeah. How do you get a PDF? Because you show me how to get a PDF once of a web page.
Oh, right. Oh, yes.
Export as PDF.
Yes, that's it. Yes, when you go to like print a page, export as PDF. Yeah. It took me a while to notice that, because I was like looking for add-ons, and I thought, what? This is fantastic, but I wish I'd known this 3 years ago, instead of having to use a plugin.
So.
Yeah, in Chromium, it's like save to file. That's what it usually comes out, save to file, and then it's like save as PDF. Yeah. So while you're doing that, Jonathan, I can ask Rachel. So
here we go.
So you reckon self-pres and sexual are like more important to you than the social, and you see the social as a weak area. So you think you might be social last?
Yeah, I think so. Unless I was just like really, really unhealthy social type my whole life, but that seems a little bit of a stretch.
But what I would see from my interaction with you is that it's the social thing is not through you being like, because you don't come across as like FE break or FI break. So maybe the social issue is to do with, well, for a start, non-typological factors, just your own circumstances, and just general insecurity, which could be linked up with Enneagram Type 6. Or in other words...
But if you're saying that the only types that are not, that have social last have FE break or FI break, that's only logical types that would be social last.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm sort of saying that you don't show things because you know, like we can look when we're using like the Jungian framework, the socioanalytic framework, we can say, oh, this person's FE break, this person's FI break. What I'm sort of saying is, you see yourself weak in the social area, but I don't see any kind of like FI breakness in you or FE breakness in you. So
it's not in that sense, though. It's just I don't feel any draw to be community oriented.
Right. So it's like, this is what extroverts frequently say about introverts, and it's like, oh, you don't talk to the introverts don't talk to people because they're socially incompetent. No, it's because they don't really care. They want to talk to quality people, not just every Tom, Dick, or Harry. They're perfectly capable of socially skilled, just not with you.
Okay.
So it might be like, I mean, especially like that with INFJ. Like, they can be very socially skilled, and like with other, like the introverted, like an ISFJ as well. ISFJ would probably maybe the best example of someone who can be very socially skilled, but they can like just have these anxieties, these things that prevent them, or their own personal circumstances, are massive personal circumstances. Being in an area where you've not got the vectors to interact with people who are like-minded in terms of interests. What kind of support networks is somebody in? So, for instance, somebody might go to a church where they can meet people at the church or be involved in certain activities. It might be that someone who is busy with their children, so they haven't got the actual opportunities to go to these events to socialize with people. So real life can get in the way of typology. Damn that real life.
Are you talking about in cases where people who don't have social last look like they have social last because of real life circumstances?
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's like people can be social last for different reasons. So, for instance, with some people, they are social last because they do have a problem. To put it bluntly, there are people that have a problem, and we would call them FE break, where the person is just totally rude and has no filter. I mean, like, there are those people who are social last because they rub people the wrong way, and because they're rude, and the other things. And then there's other people who are social last, and it's like, well, there's nothing wrong with this person. This is a nice person. Why are they social last? And it's probably like either they have an insecurity, or it's something in their upbringing, or something in there, and it's like, well, this person's really nice when you get to know them. So it can just be personal circumstances, personal history, and there's no weakness.
But doesn't this have more to do with motivation than life circumstances?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it does, but the instincts are probably the most nurture-based of all the typology stuff. So your experiences can affect what instinct you'll develop, because I think it's one of the last things to develop. You know, quite early, but.
And at the other end of the spectrum, you can have outgoing people who are FI break. Like, you can have like ESTPs and ENTPs that do a lot of socializing, and it's like, wow, they're socializing despite the fact that they're rubbing people the wrong way and are not very socially skilled.
The thing to remember is social instinct is not necessarily about being sociable, it's also about social politics, social hierarchy, social concerns, so on. You can be... Yeah. I mean, I am as introverted as it's possible to get, and I'm social first. That does not mean I'm a social person. It means my instincts are in that direction.
Yeah, so like, you know what I mean. I'm sort of making the point that there's certain people are social last because it's like the person is like, to be blunt, is not a nice person. And then there's other people who are really nice people, but they're social last for like different things.
Like Lady Lullaby, she's socialist, and she identifies as socialist, but she's a perfectly nice person.
Yeah, and she's yes, a very good one-on-one, and she can also do things in a group. She can also teach in a group. So yeah, so there's preference and then there's skill.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, you can have ENTPs and ESTPs of preference, and ENTJs as well. These can be people that can socialize, but not very skillfully, and yet you can have introverted types who, when they do socialize, are much more socially skilled. And
but isn't it in part not just the act of socializing, but how you think about your actions in the world?
Yeah.
Well, more so.
Yeah. So it's complicated, is what I'm saying.
There's a complex interaction. Usually you'll find things like maybe ENTPs who are social first or second have a bit more tact than ENTPs who are social last. For example.
Yeah, they would have developed it.
They would.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm.
And they would probably come across as an ENTP with higher than average FE.
Mm. Yeah, usually social first would probably be the most concerned with being nice, or you've got a strong social instinct.
Yeah.
You also be social second but have a weak social instinct. I'll talk about this in a moment. Social second but have a weak social instinct, especially if you're SXSO, you can be a real tool. But,
a real tool.
Like,
a Britishism.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
A tool.
But why was that make somebody prone to that?
Well, this is to do with the strength of your second. I'll get this up. I'll screen share this. So
your sound went a little bit out there, Jonathan, before. Which type can be a tool?
SXSO weak sides, like the Donald. This is the wrong one. Sorry. I actually.
Oh, when you said SXSO weak side.
Yes.
Do you mean a version? Are you still saying SO is the middle of the one, but weak?
So I keep clicking the wrong bloody thing.
Because now you've introduced a new nuance to the system. So now you're saying that that the second one can be crap as well. Is there like different levels within the stacking?
That's
do you see what he's showing?
Oh yeah. I'll click on your square.
Hold on. Can you see?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is it you're looking at? Are you looking at the 3 ranges of instinctual settings?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I will.
Oh, right, I see.
I'll get to SXSO. This is.
right.
This is what I would say.
Oh, this is a little extra nuance. Flipping out. These instincts are getting complicated, yes.
Okay. Basically, the strength of your second instinct determines a few things. So, if you are SXSO but weak SO, as I said, it's your least worst function, then that can.
Ooh, let's see which one of these I fit. Ooh.
Do you fit the exhibitionism, Ben?
Strong SX, weak SO, weaker SP, pulls from SPSX shadow to intensify SX exhibitionism while the Baden. Most on fire of all stacks and stack ranges. I would say this is the road trump.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the one who thinks they're good with people. They're good at making a social impact, social connection, but they're not very good at maintaining it. Or
maybe cool side might be me.
Cool.
You don't have SP higher than us. You're SXSO.
I think I'm SXSO. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the SXSO ones are quite brief here. It's kind of annoying. The other ones are much more developed.
So which one do you think I come across as, Jonathan, in those?
Well, let's see. Flirtatious interaction style, more calling than fast siders, more wrist and coast siders. I would say you're actually the second one. The
Ooh.
filter.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. Especially since our discussion before this hangout, you were saying something about Game of Thrones.
Hey, don't give away all my behind-the-scenes activities.
Yes. But I think that would sort of play into this.
I'm doing what's best for the channel.
Whereas SXSO strong kill side, strong social instinct, political activist.
Oh yeah. I missed that bit. Yes, moderate social. Yeah.
Yeah, moderate social seems. Whereas SXSO strong side is, more political activist, more intellectual, social causes. I mean, technically any type can be interested in social causes, regardless of their instincts, but some are definitely more inclined to it than others.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, you can have an INTP that's into good monetary policy because of the internal logic thing. So it depends on the issue and the circumstances.
Right. So that's also, of course, SO second is the one that's most sociable in general. SPSO and SXSO are more sociable than SOSP or SOSX on average, or at least if you're factoring people with the same function type or whatever. SO second means you're more comfortable with social issues and social interactions, and SO first. Okay? Everyone clear on that? So I'll get to
Yeah, if you go
SXSP.
Like if you go more on that page, because so people can. What's before then?
Okay, this is SXSP.
Oh, have you got more on SXSO?
No, that's all that is in this page. I'm sorry. There's not a lot. I'll try and find something.
Anyway, this is mainly the focus on Rachel, so this might be Rachel then. So we. Oh.
SX. Well, tell you what, we'll try SPSX first, just in case you're SP first.
Right.
So SPSX weak side, weak SX mimics SPSO building of career security with an eye on advancement in the name of self-sufficiency, but little or no concern for status, as in the case of SOSP, being amused by others. We'll hear for number one. So you probably know that. I don't think that's about you, does it? No. So the mid-range SPSX can hang around like persons to imbibe in favourite goodies, though social interaction itself is not a priority. They do, however, remain slyly conscious of interpersonal attraction, even if characteristically hesitant to make a first move, whether alone or not, retains an air of privacy reluctant to come out of themselves. How about that?
I like goodies. I don't know.
Well, we'll see what we're getting. Okay, SPSX strong side decadent. SPS is most saturated with SX. Self-attending ways are offset by a wilder, outgoing streak, reaching outside themselves, then pulling back. Noticeably SXA in quality, often after passes SX first. Sensualist, the hedonist. So,
out of those three, the last one would be closest.
Really? Ooh, sexy.
Ooh.
Trying to move this up. Okay, we'll try the SXSP now. So SXSP weak side, this is just their full command produces an active recruiter of potential mates, but being SXSP, this remains in the yin mode of using. Charismatic and overtly sexualized, arguably most purely SX of all stacks and ranges, draws from SOSX shadow to liven up SX into an erotic playfulness, and to keep SX far ahead of their relatively nominal SP, an emotional yearning to their mating ritual, an inherently unstable range that can lead to a pattern of serial heartbreak, often confused for SXSO. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. SXSP mid-range, so moderate SP. The range where the mystique of the SXSP stack is its strongest unconsciously attracts with intense eye contact and other SX feelers, but holds back enough to give them a kind of untouchable or hard to get close to quality. Depending on their true intentions, this can either frustrate their SX or reward their functional SP killing system. Like mid-rangers of all stacks, there's a seemingly casual approach in meeting their variant needs, as the secondary instincts get both in play and at bay, and others may wonder what they really want. SXSP Wanderer, strong self-res. The most classically blocked of the SXs, often exchanging intimacy in favour of the more immediate pleasures of the body, paradoxically the most wandering and restless of the SXSPs. Pulls from SPSO to ensure that SX flood is contained by the SP levy, which can provide a sense of stability at the expense of seemingly put off by others. Sex can be a hollow satisfying of the instinct, while more vulnerable feelings are suspended, quietly charged but muted, and can seem self-praise first.
Out of those three are related more to the mid-range.
Mid-range. So you relate to mid-range SXSP and to strong SP SXSP.
The SPSX, you mean? The last one?
The SPSX, you said you relate to the... So the SPSX relate to the strong SX and SXSP, the mid-range, so what one would you say is the most like you?
I
mean, obviously, you still have a strong SX streak.
Yeah, and I kind of relate to parts of all the SX first descriptions and the SXSP ones. So I tend to think I'm probably in there rather than the SPSX because I really didn't relate to the first SPSX.
So, what do you think?
Probably that mid-range SXSP, I think.
Okay. All right. So now we'll go on to myself. We'll digress and go into SOSP since we're here.
Okay, cool.
SOSP warm sides pulls from SXSO to enhance inner warmth, revving up the social to where they can pass off as more stereotypically SOSX than many true SOSXs. Not surprisingly, many supposed SOSXs are in fact SOSPs of this range, being SX last they tend to relate less through non-verbal expression, and more through talking and joking around, but what they lack in subtlety they may make up for in overt conscientiousness, as SOSXs tend to be subtle and tactful. Mid-range, the classical or true SOSP, not likely to be mistaken for either SOSX or SPSO. Most wide-ranging and moderate of the ranges, friendly but not ingratiating, anchored by a larger sense of community but not at the expense of delicate alliances, more verbal than the formal range but less sociable than warm-siders, have a strong sense of fairness and equality, though an academic or career bent may come off as elitist. And finally, SOSP, formal, strong SP, pulls from SPSX for more self-contained style, sociable still primary, is muted. Pardon me. Can seem critical and more impersonal than the other ranges. I usually focus on topics, issues and responsibilities affecting specific levels of society, usually well connected, but in formal settings may let others do most of the talking, can seem self-present at first glance. I actually think that's Batman's subtype since we're talking about...
Really?
Again, this is an image. Every single hangout with Jonathan, he wants to reference to Batman.
Yeah, but now I'm doing it on purpose.
I'm going to tag Batman in the description.
We could do a video with Batman and all that. We could just do Batman.
Do a whole video about Batman.
That would
Batman
actually
and
get a
all
lot
of
of views. That would actually get a lot of views.
It's a great idea.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think Batman's SOSP 8. He can look like a self-prezi, but his mission is clearly social. But yeah, myself though, I'm not Batman, sadly. I relate. I'm kind of in between warm side and cordial, so weak and mid-range. Yeah, I can joke around a bit, can't I? I mean,
yes.
You seem like the warm side one.
Yeah, but I would aspire to be more in the mid range, I think. But I could, yeah, depending on my mood, I can be a warm side for cordial, but probably more warm side in practice. So, yeah, we don't.
How do you think that varies by MBTI type or socionics type?
I don't think it. I don't think it does. I think that really depends on the person.
Right.
I mean, I was mentioning Batman there. I was saying Batman is strong SP, but that's probably because Batman is rich and he was born into wealth, so he's got the money to be strong SP. He can afford to dedicate his time to going to the best schools and getting in shape and get all these teachers.
So, well, why does Batman do all this Batman thing? What's the point of that?
Why is he a bat? Well,
Yeah.
because he wanted to be a vigilante to avenge his parents' death and so on, fight crime. But his first night out, he got horribly beaten, or didn't go that well. So he was in the bowl of despair, and then one day a bat flew through his window, and he inspired him, because criminals are superstitious and cowardly a lot, as he says. So he dresses like a bat to scare the living hell out of people, and it works.
It works if you've got a flipping great costume.
Yeah, and he does.
And you don't look like a prat.
Yeah, he does. So, yeah, that's the main thing there. He's like that to scare people. It's a bit different in the Christopher Nolan films, which you have not seen because you do not know films, Ben.
Yes, because you are another kind of buff. You are a film buff as well.
Yes. Yeah, and in those films he's actually type 6, more of a type 6 than a type 8, because in those films he actually becomes Batman because bats frighten him and it's time my enemies share my dread. That's what he says. And there's other things that make him a bit more 6-ish than 8-ish. But in general he dresses like a bat to scare the living hell out of people. And it works. So yeah, anyway, that's SOSP.
So why does Batman only go out at night?
Well, that's kind of ridiculous in the day, wouldn't it? not as scary. It's much scarier at night, you know.
So all the criminals have just got to do their stuff during the day, and then keep their heads down at night.
Well, yeah, but usually they're out at night anyway. So
Okay.
He sleeps during the day. He's a bat. So we'll save that for the Batman video.
Yeah. Oh, cool. You're doing a very good defense, though, of me trying to poke holes. Very good.
Well, that was you trying to poke holes. You haven't even... Oh, you're a total amateur when it comes to poking holes in Batman. I've been down in the dirt with the really tough Batman questions. You have no idea.
I will say such as later on, and then you'll tell me, and I go, oh, maybe I'm not such a bad hole poker because I've made you poke holes yourself in it. Although you do say that you like to steal man things. So.
No, I mean, I've been in the real Geek Wars, man. I've been in the real drawn out bloody fandom battles over this thing, and I've studied them and witnessed them. So.
Yes, so I'm an amateur hole poker.
You're an amateur. You're an amateur. Anyway, SPSO. Well, back on topic. Do we know any SPSOs?
Oh.
I don't know of any.
I wonder if Wojtek is. I think he's self-specified, so he might be SPSO, but.
I don't know if you guys can hear all of the barnyard animal noises
No,
that
we can't.
is making. Okay.
No, we can't.
I just wanted to put that out there. That's where that's coming from.
All right. Yeah. Well, SPSO is. I think that's the most common type, and that's usually SJs are often SPSO. Obviously not all SJs, but in general. So SPSO with weak SO.
Do the STJs lean towards SPSO and the SFJs lean towards SOSP?
I don't think so. I think SJs in general are SPSO.
Yeah.
Oh, and typically. Yeah. Also, I'm not sure how I like how they're. Don't even notice, but they've got a really weird naming system. Like SPSO strong side is weak social, but if we go to this SPSX aesthetic weak SX and seducer, it's like they've just got different names.
So when it says their strong side, so what does that? Is extra strong?
See, that's the thing.
Oh, I can't hear you at the moment.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
So when it says their strong side,
yeah.
does that mean the first one is extra strong or the second one is extra strong?
See, I think this first one is extra strong, but I would actually swap them around. I would say I would call strong side the last SPSO strong social, whatever, because.
Well, that's what they do with the top one they list, right? Is the strong side one?
Yeah.
And that's the one where the middle instinct is at its weakest point?
That's exactly why it's confusing. As I was saying, the naming system is really weird.
It's not that weird. I mean, because that person's going to have that first instinct, like the strongest thing.
Not necessarily though, because like I was saying that I'm SOSP weak side, or the warm side. I would not say I'm very strong social. I am not strong social first. I tend to think of the second instinct as more of a supporting role. And so the stronger your second instinct, the easier you find the first instinct, because you'll have it kind of sorted. That's my take on it anyway.
Okay.
I suppose other Enneagram buffs might disagree with that particular take, but that's how I've generally understood it, and it seems to hold true.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, SPSO strong side, concerned with building and maintaining an orderly home, personal stability and the protection and nurturing of these life support systems.
Oh, Jonathan, at the moment, there's a weird thing happening for me. It's showing a little symbol showing that you're sharing screen, but at the moment I can see you on webcam. Can you see him on webcam as well, Rachel?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I will. If I can just stop screen share then, and then I'll go back to it. I think this is the right one.
Ah, did you close the window? The screen share window?
No, I moved it.
It may have been that. But now we're back to, now we can see your screen.
So you can still see me? You can't see me?
No, we can see what you're sharing. We can see your text.
See, I moved it. I don't know what that was. But anyway, concerned with building and maintaining an orderly home, personal stability and the protection and nurturing of these life support systems. Consequently, many strong siders are concentrated in small towns and suburban areas where like-minded people support and respect each other's space and privacy. Tapping SXSP gives them a taciturn edge, tending to be social second in name only. This ranges are with the purest expression of self-preservation. Their somewhat gruff demeanour can make them quite amusing despite themselves. Can occasionally seem SPSX due to stronger focus on personal items, food and domestic concerns. The power, the accountant, the farmer. These are just names. Don't really put too much stock in the job stuff. Mid-range. The most business-like range of SPSO, and hence all stacks and ranges. Trades a degree of self-sufficiency to be involved with the larger organisations, bringing along their natural propensity for development and management of resources. For example, a strong sider may attain better security for themselves or loved ones, but a mid-range builder may enrich an entire team, company, or city on the way. Frequently found among entrepreneurs, architects, and engineers, bankers, city planners, corporate CEOs, and coaches, as well as proprietors, managers of small businesses. It can be difficult for them to relate outside of their primary focus. being more locked in to their stack than the other ranges. As such, they're inclined to busy pan themselves. As such, they're inclined to busy themselves with projects which seem useful to them. They're tongue-tied there. And SPSO, weak side, strong SO. Weak side means strong SO, that's confusing. Draws from SOSX to produce what is overall a lighter, friendlier, and more humour-employing style with self-praise, though funny through conscious effort and without much irony. Unlike strong sides, who are relatively less aware of how they're perceived. Can seem more sociable than many SOSPs and better embodying of a common touch, a notable degree of social consciousness tempers their more private security-seeking instincts. So not surprisingly, weak-sided can seem social first, often with a certain generous or self-sacrificial quality.
Is there a book that this stuff is from, or is somebody just making this up?
I don't think they're making it up. I don't know what it's from either.
Well, I mean, is it like an expert making it up, or is it like published?
I have no idea. I've always seen it on certain websites like this, and there's other websites repeat it. It does seem to hold true.
Who has published this? Who is the person that's written this?
I have no idea. I need to investigate.
Right.
But anyway, you kind of see how SO second is meant to support self-praise first.
Because this might be the equivalent of a fan theory.
This might be indeed, but don't ruin it, Ben. See, I think you're annoyed that you failed to pull proper holes in Batman's and you just take it in the theory.
No. Because what you could do is, that person that's posted it, you could contact them.
This was posted a while ago. It's not just in this website, it's in some other places as well. I don't know who's posted it. Because
those things there where it says, like, you found it confusing, we don't know if that could be the system or whether it's a typo.
I think it's the naming system. It's they're giving each of the stackings different names. So you get SO, SX Darksiders, mid-range, and Lightsiders.
Is there an article that explains that?
Well, it says here the SOSX version is what I call Lightside. Phobic could have always split an attitude. I don't think it really explains it. I think it's just a personal taste thing of whoever came up with this system.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, that is something I need to... I think I tried looking it up before and I couldn't find to come up with it.
I mean, there's an equivalent thing with Reeser and Hudson where they come up with, like, the strength of the wing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like heavy, moderate, and light, I think they used.
Yeah, I wish they had more consistency between these. I tend to think of, when I say strong side, I generally refer to the term the strength of the second instinct. That's the way I use it. It's not the way they're using it. They're obviously using different terminology for each stacking. But yeah.
And them like you, are they saying that the second one is the one that is sort of, it's almost like the MO for achieving the first? The mode of operation for achieving
They're not saying that, but they're not saying that. They're sort of they're kind of hinting at it, but it's not quite there. They're also pointing out that the weaker your second instinct, the more you pull from your next stacking. So SOSP weak side pulls from SXSO. So they can take on traits of SXSO or imitate them.
So if the second one's weaker, does it pull from the third?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
To compensate.
Right.
Because you're not as focused on it.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Right. So, see, they don't really talk about SXSO white side.
So, for instance, are they just called Darksiders because the SX is set? So, is that something specific to that instinct? SO, SX. So, there's no Darksiders for any other combination?
No, that's what I was saying. They're using different terminology for SOSX than they are for the other things. Each of them has their own unique terminology, which is a bit annoying. I don't think you should do that. But, oh, the SOSX version is what I call light side. SO is unquestioned dictator, just is a warm side SOSP. And the other end is the dark side. SO is chairman, SX is vice chairman who sleeps with the chairman.
Right? Oh, kinky.
Yeah, what a weird image. And the mid-range, the lovely muddy area in between where SO is the boss, but SX is at least is the corner office. Okay, this person is a dirty mind. Lightsiders versus darksiders, almost like phobic, counterphobic split in attitude. The light side is engaging, ingratiating even, and is the closest to what has become the stereotype for SOSX. Unmistakably friendly, amusing, eager to attend to others in a personal, customised way. Also hesitant or unwilling to upset the delicate chemistry or harmony of individual or group dynamics, since SO cohesion is at a premium. So, this is weak SX. This is the weaker SX.
I think if we started with this, we would confuse the heck out of everybody.
Yeah. So, SOSX dark side is strong SX.
I think, Jonathan, that you could come up with your own version of this, with your own naming system.
I have considered it. SOSX Darksiders, on the other hand, seem eager to prove their SO isn't in full control, so they typically test the boundaries of traditional social values, making maybe knee-jerk reactions against stupid shared behaviour, group mentalities, or one-side strategies for making connections. They aren't any less healthy by definition, but can see that way through their darker, more confrontational manner, using highly customized interactive tactics like all SOSXs, but in a more uncompromising, can get real way, owing to the tension between good SO and bad SX. So dark side is strong SX and can look like an SX first, basically. SOSX mid-range, so the balanced SX. They have a less pre-committed way of dealing with people and therefore seem to express the mercurial qualities of the SOSX nature more than the others. I used to call it the grey range since it made me think of dusky understandability or manipulation through inscrutability. Mid-range SOSXs seem especially averse to being predictable, preferring the license to adapt whatever attitude the situation requires. Until those conditions are clear, they default to a kind of seeming indifference or nonchalance. A stark contrast to the sociably upfront quality of the cordial SOSP cousins, quiet, laid-back SOSX. So
right at the bottom you see there, source typewatchenneagram.blogspot.com.
Let's see if we can go there. I'm clicking that link, so.
Yeah, so it's probably opened outside of this. So at the moment we can't see it because we're looking at the I think that's a PDF viewer.
I've been in this website before, so.
And you can actually find out about the person that's written it.
They wrote it in June 2011. They don't have any information about themselves. It's a blog site, but.
You could do it. You write your own, Jonathan, and show your own blog spot. Direct people there. You could activate AdSense on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I'm not sure if they're necessarily the ones who come with it either. There's a whole bunch of.
Because I know you like to do your writing, so you could have a blog spot account with various writings there, Enneagram writings, etc.
There's a few comments and stuff on this page as well. So,
well, at the moment we can only see your PDF that you were showing before.
Yeah, I won't bother doing it because it's basically the exact same stuff.
Okay.
Just copy pasted a bit neater. It seems like an incomplete. I can't tell if this person just came up with it by themselves, or if they. Whatever.
You mean people on the internet just copying and pasting stuff around in Typology? Never.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the instinctual stackings.
Yay!
Okay.
That was a bit. Wow.
Yes, I blow your mind.
It was that page towards the end. That.
It got a little chaotic.
Yes.
I think at first I might have misunderstood what the stackings, and I think that's where my ideas might be from. But I think they're more consistent. My ideas, and I think they more or less hold up. And I'm sure I've talked about them in other groups, and they more or less agree. People more or less agree with me, so more of the same basic idea.
Well, why do you think it is that? Why do you think people are better at the second one than the first one?
No, comfortable. They're more comfortable with the second one. First one, that's not from that page. That's from another source with the stackings.
Is the first one almost like an unhealthy obsession?
No, the first one is the drive. Is the one you want the most. The second's the one you're find easiest, most comfortable with, and that can be a range of strengths. I've got another page.
Jonathan, could you write an article or do a hangout with me in future where you could sort of show like a levels of development for the instinctual stackings where, say someone's healthy, maybe the first one just become an obsession the way Rachel says?
Perhaps you mean just devise my own theory and
yeah. Because I'm sure there is levels of development within the stackings.
Yeah, showing off, I could do that.
Yeah, then this channel can be on the cutting edge of Enneagram theory.
Yeah, well, I'm sure other people have come with sort of similar things, or we could be laughed at for making stuff up. Anyway, this is a similar page, but it's about the.
Yeah, but at least your stuff that you would make up would make more sense and be more consistent than the last thing we looked at, and have a better naming system.
Yeah. Oh, Lauren Wiscombe, I mentioned her about this channel.
What the heck is this?
Oh, this is a different. There's a different page. Yeah. But Lauren Wiscombe, she's an ENFP type 2, and I mentioned to her about this, about your channel.
Oh, you mentioned this channel to her?
Yes.
Ooh.
I was just if Crystal couldn't do any Enneagram 2 videos, she was kind of I asked her if she'd be okay with doing Enneagram 2 videos or something.
Cool.
Or ENFP videos. She said she'd be okay with that. But the only thing is she's from Australia.
I like Australians.
Yeah. I actually I shouldn't have put that up there because there was her Facebook pages on the video.
No, I don't think we saw a Facebook page. Did you see a Facebook page, Rachel?
Not our page, but her name. So.
Nope.
I've forgotten what her name is.
Yeah, but the video might remember that. I hope she don't get in trouble for that.
Right.
Hope she doesn't pick up anyone. Anyway, this is about the. Here we go. Here's where the secondary stuff comes from. SP dominant or secondary. SX dominant or secondary. SO dominant or secondary. This is from the first.
You know, Beatrice. Since we're promoting the Beatrice Chestnut thing, so she doesn't do stackings though. Beatrice Chestnut, is that correct?
No.
And there's nothing about stackings in a book.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Right.
But well, they do mention. She mentions, and other people mention that they do have all the instincts. So the stackings do logically follow from this. And they're definitely. I've definitely heard her talk. She's on Facebook. She's on the Enneagram group, so it has been talked about. She's aware of the stackings, certainly. And
so yeah, we could do a video in future where we try and hunt down who came up with the stackings?
Yes, probably. I think here's sinful and counterful. Yeah, this is actually the page I was reading to Hannah off of in that first Enneagram 6 video.
Right.
Like,
Synflow and counterflow, that's like an Enneagram equivalent of Galenko. Like, in terms of like an INTP-ish ornate model of things. It's like left and it's like the rings, like the supervision rings and the benefit rings.
Yeah. That's a way to think about it. I'm not totally clued up on the phone counter whole thing, but there we go.
That is similar to the flow of things in Model G, where it goes around in a loop.
Nice. So SXSP. This is what we're here for.
Yeah, this looks better than this. Looks good.
Yeah. So perhaps the most internally conflicted of the stackings, potentially the most inconsistent in behaviour, may occur as a blockage of the sexual instinct, which can be redirected as a more generally brooding and troubled personality. May isolate themselves for long periods of time before re-emerging. They live according to a strictly personal outlook and are not particularly concerned with the approval of others outside of their immediate concern. They seem to be searching for something, the missing piece. If they find a soulmate, they will unite without fanfare, forming a secret bond, dealing with formalities as an afterthought. Powerful sexual impulses facing inner resistance may manifest symbolically in the psyche, giving way to soulful interpretations of the unconscious. Under periods of stress, severe sexual tensions may manifest as erratic, impulsively destructive behaviour, can seem restless, torn between the comforts of a stable home life and the urge to wander, may be prone to self-medicating. So, Rachel, that's you.
Ooh! I've heard her mention in previous videos about self-medicating.
Oh, really? So how do you relate to that? SXSP in general. In general, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The impulsive, destructive behavior and the torn between the comforts of a stable home life and the urge to wander. It's all very accurate.
Expression, intense, self-absorbed expression. I can't see her.
You tell me.
Well, Ben, I can't see her. You have to tell me. I'm reading this.
Oh, what do you want me to do?
Well,
is my self-expression absorbed?
Click on her face and
self-absorbed expression.
Click on her face and tell us, is she intense self-absorbed expression? And then Rachel, put on your most intense self-absorbed expression. Just look at. Okay.
Oh, she's pouting at the moment.
I don't know what that looks like.
Okay, we can go back to this then.
Okay.
Okay. Energy, intense energy expressed calmly, steadily, assertively. Behavior, intense, assertive, troubled, and self-absorbed. Mindset, if I can make us have an orderly and pleasing lifestyle, I can keep up and escalate all this merging intensity. Blind spot, likely to neglect the desire to maintain physical safety, comfort, and an orderly lifestyle for the sake of their primary concern of seeking intense connections and experiences. In average unhealthy levels, may not have an awareness of the need to connect to the broader sense of the world, of a sense of security or in groups, or of the need to seek it, or even of the need to foster approval, support, and understanding of themselves within groups that they are connected with, often causing misunderstanding with allies, supporters, friends, and family members. Okay, so that's.
Yeah, I relate to that.
Yeah. I'm gonna try SPSX again, just to clarify.
And also SXSO would be nice.
Of course. Motivation delivers a secure, comfortable environment where they can pursue their private interests in depth. These people often have an earthy, mysterious quality to them. They are quietly intense, but to others may seem oblivious to the greater social world around them. instead favouring personal interests. They are so to commit to what to do, it is with an attitude of life commitment to the establishment of an impenetrable bond. Others can be taken aback by how suddenly and completely this type can lock into them, and by the depth of understanding of the other's condition. They attach to others at an organic root level, in contrast to this subvariant surface formality. Somewhat hesitant to enter new relationships, they instead preserve the select few enduring bonds they carefully form along the way. The sanctuary of home is of paramount concern, and this type takes particular delight in decorating their spaces to reflect their cherished sense of taste and depth. Depth and discrimination characterised as stacking. Wistful, self-absorbed expression, sighing, magic is in their head. Calm, steady energy expressed intensely withdrawing. Withdrawn, calm, wistful, and self-absorbed mindsets. I have emerging intensity without having to leave my orderly and pleasing lifestyle. Blind spots, likely to neglect their desire to seek intense connections and experiences for the sake of their primary concern of maintaining physical safety, comfort, and an orderly lifestyle. In average unhealthy levels, may not have an awareness of the need to connect to others into the world for a sense of security and groups. Yeah, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think? SXSP then? Does that sound more like you?
Yeah, I relate to this one to an extent, but I think the other one more.
Okay. Actually, now I wonder if Wojtek is SPSX, just maybe not all that, but it'd be interesting to get his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think Wojtek's a social.
What is that? Alright.
It's an alarm on my phone.
Do you have to go soon? Or
No.
no?
I think so. Yeah, that makes. I think that makes sense. So SPSX for Wojtek then.
Perhaps, yes. Anyway, SXSO. Motivation to impact others, question substance, challenge convention. This is the type that exudes the most raw charisma and sexual energy.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
They may identify so strongly with whatever they're involved with, they become the symbol of its core essence, and sometimes its lead agent for change. Highly content with the status quo, this subvariant seeks to alter the fundamental structure of something, but once embodying its purest or most extreme form. Possibly attracted to radical views in politics, philosophy, spirituality, or creativity that reflect their penchant for testing boundaries. They enjoy pushing others' buttons, especially those resistant to their modes of expression. It's not uncommon for them to have a pet social, political, or spiritual cause which they're able to support with heartfelt conviction. Such
as writing Peter Schiff on their wall.
Yes.
And Ludwig von Mises and talking about the dollar collapse, which is coming soon. But back to the description.
May exploit and seek to redefine sexuality to reflect their own colourful and uncertain understanding of it. While prone to exhibitionism, they are strongly attracted to grounding influences which can anchor them and provide stability. Failure to satisfy an especially intense desire for connection may cause a subvariant to spite others at the risk of jeopardising the need for an equal stabilising force. Can feel pulled between wanting the life of maximum intensity and reassuring episodes of peaceable convention.
I will have people know that it's hot where I am. That's one of the reasons I'm wearing the gym vest. So sure. It's not exhibitionism. Right. So going back to the description.
The Ben does protest too much. Expression, intense, outer-focused. Energy, intense energy expressed outwards assertively. Behaviour, intense, assertive, sultry and aggressive.
Oh, sultry.
Mindset, if I can maintain position and inclusion in the group world, I can keep up and escalate all this merging intensity. Likely to neglect the desire to build their sense of personal value, accomplishment and security of place with others for the sake of their primary concern of seeking intense connections and experiences in average healthy levels. May not have an awareness of the body's need for food or sleep, or of the need to accumulate wealth for reasons of security, or of the need to manage time or resources to establish an orderly lifestyle.
Wow, that's great.
You relate to all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, any more on that?
No, that's pretty much all for SXSO. This is also, again, Donald Trump's type, so you sure...
Oh, marvellous.
You share that with the journal.
So you could after you could send me the link for that, and I'll have a close look at that.
No problem.
Nice, that's interesting.
No, I'll go to myself over here.
This is better than the other one. This is clearer than the one that was going about weak side, fire side.
That's a level of. I should have done this first, actually. The weak side, strong side stuff adds a level of nuance, because there's clearly more than just these 6 things going on. It'd be good to get proper descriptions of each of these things.
Yeah, but I like this because you've got the consistency where, like, it's probably in the other ones where you've got expression, energy, behavior, mindset, blind spots.
No.
And once people have got that framework mastered, then they can look at the nuances within the framework. So it's about going through things by stage. It's like when they teach science at school, they'll cover the same area, but cover it in greater complexity at each stage.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm very proud of myself for finally figuring out how to share screens. Because if you remember from the earlier videos, I would just read through all this.
Yeah. It's great, isn't it?
This is
a little bit visual aid, share screen action, diagram.
Yeah. See, this is TE polar in action. You've overcoming to your TE polar, Jonathan.
Yeah.
And now in public. Motivation to attain status in their chosen sphere, the social climber. So, type is often most comfortable in group settings, but tend to be a bit formal and awkward in one-to-one relations. The natural political type, affiliating themselves with the groups or theories which best defend their social material interests. They may lack warmth and individual identity, and this could lead to problems in forming meaningful relationships outside of a shared social interest. They were the like, but they also find it difficult to get deeply excited or enthusiastic about anything. See, this is where the weak side would come in, because...
I'll tell you what, Jonathan, with this, because you've got this in a PDF, haven't you? So after this hangout, if you send me the PDF of this, I'll send that to...
Well, I just copied it from a web page. I can give you the web page, and if you want, maybe it may be easier, because again, I'm still TE poor. I'm not.
Yeah, okay. But I like to keep a PDF because then I can send it to someone and they won't get lost.
Yeah. Well, either way, you can easily make a PDF.
Oh, okay.
However I send it to you.
Yeah. Anyway, this is behind the scenes stuff. Carry on, please.
Expression, bright, smelly, calm expression. Would you say that? Do I have a bright, smelly, calm expression? Yes.
Yeah, she does. Let's click on this smiliness. Yes, she does. She does.
No, me, not
you. Oh, I don't know. You're not on screen at the moment. You've got a PDF on screen.
Well, do I normally have a bright, smelly, calm expression?
Yes, even though you are Scottish. You're Scottish nurse.
Okay, now I don't have a bright, smelly, calm expression. Okay. Energy, outward energy expressed calmly, steadily, broadly, more flow and steady energy. To their engaging and less jerkiness, gushiness, or over the topness like the SOSX. Bright, smelly, calm, and thoughtful. By establishing an orderly and pleasing lifestyle, I can make sure and keep improving my position and inclusion in the group world. I think this is where I got the idea that your second instinct is a means to an end. By reading the mindsets of each type. If I can establish an orderly and pleasing lifestyle, SP, I can make sure and keep improving my position and inclusion in the group world, SO. So you can see that. Okay? Yes. So that's probably where I got the idea that your second instinct is a means to an end. Blind spot, likely to neglect the desire to maintain physical safety, comfort, and orderly lifestyle for the sake of their primary concern of building their sense of personal value, accomplishment and security of place with others in average healthy levels, made of their awareness of the need to stimulate their mind and emotions, or of a sense of deep excitement or enthusiasm, of a need for intimate experiences, of the need for the unfamiliar, may fall into routines, and despite social connection, may feel a strange disconnection even from spouses, friends, and family. May also limerence but struggle to develop deeper attachments. Oh, pardon me. Yeah. Now, I think you two have both said you're probably mid-range, aren't you? SXSO mid-range and SXSP mid-range. Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm SOSP weak side, so I sort of relate to this, but not as much as someone who's SOSP mid-range.
Now, this range thing, that refers to the second instinct.
That's how I refer to it, certainly, yes.
Yeah.
And I would say, what do I not relate to?
Jonathan, I'm seriously thinking you should have an Enneagram blog spot.
Perhaps. They may like warmth and individual identity. See, I don't think I do that though, that much. I think
Where's that bit about identity? Likely.
They may like warmth and individual identity. I don't think that's true of me.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, because they're thinking about because like NFs do have individuality. I think they may not be thinking more of the SJ-ish.
They're also thinking of SOSP mid-range, which is again what I'm talking about.
Right.
So I sort of relate to this. I relate to it better than the other ones because I've read them already. But you can see how the warm side fits me quite well in the previous PDF.
You can see that there's certain things that are relating to, I mean, like gushiness and over-the-topness. People would like, that would be like FE, exaggerated FE. And of course, that could be used creatively in a sense of like NEFX and SEFX, ENFP and ESFP could engage in that type of behavior, or maybe ENFJ could engage in gushiness. So usually would be those types, wouldn't it, that would act in that way.
Okay, so I'll just go through the other ones for completeness.
Excellent.
SOSX, motivation to create lasting connections with those they're interested in. The best friend. This type has a very strong one-to-one social skills, but is usually uncomfortable in group settings. They enjoy cultivating multiple relationships and can be intensely involved when in the presence of someone they are interested in, but have difficulty with sustaining these bonds when apart. They give the impression of being flighty and ruthless, wanting to adapt and mirror others in order to connect, but lacking a defined approach that would give their relationships a more solid standing. They may have political interests, but are generally more pragmatic and less partisan than the other social variant. They are often attuned to pop culture and the latest trends. Expression, bright, smiley, intense expression. Outward energy expressed intensely broadly. Bright, smiley, erratic, scattered. Mindset, if I can get close to people with merging intensity, I can make sure and keep improving my position and inclusion in the group world. Blind spots, likely to neglect the desire to seek intense connections, experiences for the sake of their primary concern of building their sense of personal value, accomplishment, and security in place of others in average healthy levels, may not have an awareness of the body's need for food or sleep, or in the need to accumulate wealth, or for reasons of security, or for the need to manage time or resources to establish an orderly lifestyle.
Are a lot of Enneagram Type 3s this?
I'm not aware of that.
I know one that is.
I don't think it. I mean, obviously, Enneagram Type 3 can be any of these six. There'll be a 3 SOSX, there'll be a 3 SOSP, and so on. So, yeah, I know 2 INFJs who are this type.
Do you think ENFJ can be this?
Yes, certainly.
Because that final sentence, may not have an awareness of the body's need for food or sleep. So you can say that's like SI break, and this social climbing.
Well, as a social climbing, it's more about social inclusion or being attuned to social stuff. Yeah, we're all getting tired.
Sorry.
Sorry.
All these things are funny. They make a hangout better.
Yeah. SPS, we're nearly done. nearly there. We'll push through this. SPSO, generally private and reserved, especially serious and practical minded in their focus to gain material security and making useful connections to support their goals.
1 moment, is this one of these types that Rachel could be?
No.
No.
Oh, right, okay.
I think we're sales, she's SXSP, seems the most likely thing. Mid-range. Generally private and reserved, especially serious and practical minded in their focus to gain material security and in making useful connections to support their goals. When they do form a connection, loyalty is very important to them, and they will not hesitate to enter a relationship on grounds of disloyalty. This type may lack a certain degree of interpersonal warmth, which can give the impression of coldness or disinterest in others, even a sense of selfishness. May be drawn to groups that attract the like-minded individuals, as in business clubs or volunteer organisations where a shared professional culture can facilitate social bonds. They tend to live conservatively and dress in a conspicuously appropriate fashion befitting their status in life. May have a characteristically blunt and direct style of communication that can take others some getting used to. Particularly strong in manners of commitment, sacrifice, and enjoy being the benefactors and assisting society's practical needs. See, that sounds TJ.
I was thinking the same thing.
Not just STJ, but even NTJs.
Oh
yeah.
Withdrawn, calm, smelly expression. If I can maintain a position and inclusion in the group world, I can make sure and keep my orderly and pleasing lifestyle. May try to be just appealing, connected with the groups enough for everyone to get out of their hair. Likely to neglect a desire to build their sense of personal value, accomplishment, and security of place with others for the sake of their primary concern of maintaining physical safety, comfort, and an orderly lifestyle. In average healthy types, may not have an awareness of the need to stimulate the mind or emotions, of a sense of deep excitement or enthusiasm, of a need for intimate experiences, of the need for the unfamiliar, may fall into routines and spite social connection, may feel a strange disconnection even from spouses, friends, and family. And that's it. I think that's it.
Have we done all of them?
I think we have, yes.
Ooh.
Made it to the end.
So,
trying to see for the sources.
Here we go. Oh, I'll just click on that. Sorry. Sources.
Some of these don't exist anymore. This is the old Enneagram Institute website.
Did the Enneagram Institute change to be more mobile friendly?
Yes, I think so.
In fact, the whole thing looks like a mobile website now.
Yeah, the first link works. I'm on it. Anyway, I think that's.
We have conquered that.
Yes.
You have. Right. And that final article, that was better than the because we might lose some people with all that fireside, dark side stuff.
Was all the INTPs, all the NTs who watched this? The NS will be fine with it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the elf side and the fairy side.
Yeah. So yes, you're right, Ben. I could come up with a better system than that, but not to brag.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, you could.
I think lots of people could.
You could have a whole website, Jonathan's The Buff, and then like film section, Enneagram.
Yeah, probably not. I probably won't, but if not me, someone else could do it. But
you see, now you got the TE break situation of like the problem with implementation of I feel your pain. The implementation of fantastic ideas. That's the problem. You need to like pass them over to some kind of STJ that will implement it for you. Maybe there's an ISTJ hotline to do the implementation. So, is this wind-up time?
I think so.
Right then. So has this been helpful to you, Rachel?
Oh yeah, very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this sang out turned quite well, considering it started off quite low, but we went.
I think it started off well in the the middle when we got in that weird fireside chat, weak side, dark side. stuff, and then we went on to this much better website that was nice and set out.
Same website, just different stuff.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Right, and then we'll chat off air.